I'm Angie Callahan. Welcome to School Talk Monthly. In this program, we'll see clips from 3 of the series we are currently previewing for purchase. We're premiering a new segment featuring student-produced video, and we're going to find out who our Schools of the Month are. Our first preview is from the series Up, Down, and Around. This series teaches manuscript handwriting skills to preschoolers through first graders.
Oh, hi there. I'm Roxanne. You caught me writing a letter to my friend. Well, not just one letter of the alphabet, lots of letters. See? Put letters together the right way and you get words. Words show the ideas that you're thinking in your head, so learning to write letters and words is a great way to show people what your ideas are. Speaking of letters, I can use letters to write my name for you. My name is Roxanne. We start with an uppercase R and come down to the baseline, and then the rest of the letters are lowercase. O, X, A, and then we have 2 of the same letters in a row. N, N, and then we finish with an E. Learning to make letters the right way is important so other people can understand what you're writing. And that's why you and I are here today. Oh, good. There's someone I'd like you to meet. Walk this way. This is Scribbles. Isn't he cute? Say hi to everyone. Scribbles loves to draw. Well, show them what you can do, my yellow pencil friend. Well, that's really great. I mean, pretty soon we'll all be writing names to those pictures like tree, sun. But first things first, to learn how to write, you need to know how to hold your pencil the right way. Some people hold their pencil like this, but that's not the right way. This is not the right way either. Ooh, neither is this. But none of those ways help us learn to write well. Let me show you the best way to hold your pencil. First, lay your pencil on the table in front of you, like this. Next, you pinch the pencil here and pick it up. Now comes the fun part. You flip the pencil around with your other hand until it lands right next to your thumb. I call it pinch and flip. Now you try it. Pinch and flip. Let's try it again. Pinch and flip. And one more time. Pinch and flip. And the pencil pinch and flip is the same no matter which hand you use. Okay, you know how to hold your pencil. Now you need to know how to turn the paper that you're going to write on. If you were drawing a picture like Scribbles, it wouldn't matter how your paper was turned. But when you write letters, it's important to have your paper in the right position. You have 2 hands. Hey! I said 2. This is the right hand. If you use this hand to write, then your paper is turned this way, to the left. But if you're left-handed, then you should turn your paper this way to make writing easier. Since we're talking about the writing paper, let's take a closer look at it. You can see my letter stays within the lines, and that makes it so much easier to read. You might be used to writing or drawing on paper with no lines, but when we practice making letters and words, it helps to use paper that has lines on it. Look closely at the lines here. You can see that there are 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. The line on top is called the headline. Can you guess the name of the dotted line in the middle? Since it's in the middle, it's called the midline. Finally, this line is called the baseline. These lines help us to practice making letters and words correctly so other people can read what we're writing. Letters go up, down, and all around. It's not very hard to make letters once you know how, but it does take practice. Scribbles hasn't learned how to write his letters yet. Maybe we can all learn together. How would you like that, buddy? Well, before we start to write letters, there are special strokes to learn. A stroke is just a way of making marks on your paper. When you put strokes together, you get letters. One of the strokes is called a vertical line. That's just a fancy way of saying it stands up straight. A tall vertical line like this one starts at the headline up top and pulls straight down to the baseline on the bottom. But sometimes it starts at the baseline and pushes up to the headline. Okay, Scribbles, let's start with a tall vertical line. That's pretty good, Scribbles, but you started above the headline. Try again. Oh, you were so close, but that's still not quite right. Your line should be straight, not slanted. Try it one more time. Oh, that's it. Way to go. Yay! Well, now it's time for you to try making tall vertical lines on paper. Get your lined paper and pencil ready. And remember, you should only use a pencil. If you write with your left hand, which way is your paper turned? Correct. This way. I use my right hand, so I turn my paper this way. Don't write yet. Watch first. Start on the headline and pull down all the way to the baseline, keeping the vertical line straight. Now you try it. Pick up your pencil and make sure you're holding it the right way. Remember to pinch and flip.
Our next preview is from Elementary Physical Science. This 5-part series explores the major concepts in physical science relating to force, energy, waves, and sound.
What do the following have in common? The song of a bird, the explosive bang of fireworks, the roar of traffic, the snapping of firewood, the notes played on a piano, and the bark of a dog. These are all examples of sounds. What is sound? How is sound formed, and how does it travel? And what are some of the different characteristics of sound? During the next few minutes, we're going to try to answer these questions and others as we investigate sound. You can't see sound or observe how it moves, but you can hear it. So, what is sound? It's a form of energy called sound energy. Sound is made when matter vibrates. A vibration is the back and forth motion of an object. You predict what will happen when this guitar string is plucked. When the string is plucked, it vibrates and sound is produced. The sound travels through the air and our ears hear it. Most of the sounds we hear, whether it be the voice of another person, the wind blowing through the trees, or music on the radio, all those sounds travel through the air. But sounds can also travel through liquids. For example, whales communicate through water. A whale's call can be heard by another whale hundreds of kilometers away. Sounds can travel through solids too. When someone knocks on the door, sound travels through the solid door and then through the air to your ears. So, as we just demonstrated, sound can travel through air, liquids, and solids. These are generally referred to as mediums. Now, in space, there is little or no medium through which sound can travel. Therefore, there is no sound in space. Okay, we now know that sound must travel through a medium and that vibrations produce sound. But how does sound travel? Sound travels in waves of energy, commonly called sound waves. You can think of a wave as a disturbance that moves energy through a solid, a liquid, or a gas. A sound wave is a specific type of wave called a longitudinal wave. In a longitudinal wave, particles vibrate back and forth in the direction the wave moves. The overall motion of the particles looks a bit like the motion of this slinky. Particles compress against each other and then separate while moving forward in the direction of the wave. Sound is transmitted through the vibrations and collisions of matter, whether it be in a solid, a liquid, or in the air. It's also important to understand that sound travels in all directions from its source. You decide. Does just one person at this table hear the drop of the key, or do all the people hear it? Everyone hears the key drop because sound travels in all directions. You observe. What do you experience first? The flash of lightning or the rumble of thunder? You see the flash of lightning before you hear the roar of thunder, even though both originated at the same time. Why? This is because light travels much faster than sound. In fact, light travels about 800,000 times faster than sound. Several factors influence the speed of sound. For example, temperature can have an effect on how fast sound travels. Sound travels faster on a warm day than on a cold day. Generally speaking, sounds travel fastest through solids, slower through liquids, and even slower through gases, such as air. These are just some of the factors that affect the speed of sound. As you can tell, it's much easier to hear people screaming at this game than it is to hear these people whisper. This is because the amount of sound energy in these examples is quite different. The intensity of a sound wave is the amount of energy the wave carries through an area per second. A sound wave of greater intensity generally sounds louder. Loudness describes what we actually hear, and generally it refers to how loud or how soft a sound is perceived to be. You compare. Which sound has greater intensity? This chainsaw or these rustling leaves? The chainsaw sounds much louder and has a greater intensity than the rustling leaves. The sound produced by a sea lion is much different than the sound made by a bird.
Our last preview is from the series North American Geographic Regions and Landforms. This series examines the climate, soil, vegetation, animal life, and landforms of each diverse geographic region, while also looking at the human impact on the area.
Imagine you're on board the International Space Station, traveling around the Earth once every hour and 20 minutes. As you look down and observe the sights passing rapidly below you, there are a couple of features you could not fail to notice. The first is that the Earth's surface is covered by far more water than it is land. In fact, the water in our oceans, seas, lakes, and rivers covers over 2/3 of our planet's surface. The second is that the very large land masses that you see, known as continents, look like they once could have very well fit together, like the pieces of a giant puzzle. See how the coasts of Africa and South America, and the coasts of North America and Europe look as if they match up. Scientists believe that at one time, in the distant past, all the continents did fit together and made up a supercontinent known as Pangaea. But 300 million years ago, Pangaea began to unravel, and in a process called continental drift, it split apart. It took millions of years of painstakingly slow movement, but eventually the major pieces moved into position to become the 7 continents of Earth that we know today. The continent of North America is the 3rd largest of the world's 7 continents. It's where we find the United States of America, Canada, Mexico, and the countries of Central America. The North American continent stretches for about 6,000 miles, from the icy tundra of the Arctic Circle in the north to where it meets its sister continent of South America. The continent is very wide, measuring over 4,000 miles across its top. Near the bottom, in Central America, it's less than 100 miles wide. Have you ever heard the expression, "That's as old as the hills"? Did you ever wonder exactly which hills they were talking about? Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you live in North America, chances are the hills they're speaking of are the Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains are the oldest mountain range in North America. In fact, they're so old they've been worn down from mountains into hills twice. The Appalachians date back about 650 million years. They began as part of a mountain range on the ancient supercontinent known as Pangaea, the result of the collision between the continents of North America and Africa. It might be hard to imagine, but Earth's surface is a patchwork of many separate pieces called tectonic plates. These plates literally float on top of the Earth's mantle, a semi-molten layer of Earth that sits between the outer and inner cores. This is the reason why continents are able to drift. The collision between the North American and African plates caused the mountain range to rise. By 150 million years ago, the Appalachians had been eroded to a state of near flatness. There was a minor shift in the direction of 2 giant land masses during the ever-continuing process of continental drift. It resulted in volcanic activity along the lines of the ancient mountain range. In addition to the volcanoes, the Atlantic tectonic plate was sliding under the North America plate in a process called subduction, which pushed the Appalachians back on themselves, literally folding flat rock over flat rock. This resulted in the Appalachians becoming a folded mountain range, a look that can easily be seen in the Blue Ridge and Shenandoah Valley of Virginia. When Pangaea split apart, the mountain range separated to become the Atlas Mountains of the African country of Morocco and the Appalachian Mountains of North America. When the plate that was destined to become North America gained its present location, the Appalachians had become the high point of the eastern part of the continent, running from the Canadian island of Newfoundland south for 1,500 miles, or around 2,400 kilometers, to the central part of the U.S. state of Alabama. The Appalachians form what is known as the Eastern Continental Divide, a natural dividing line between the eastern seaboard of North America and the great Mississippi River Basin on its western side. The Eastern Continental Divide runs from the tops of the highest peaks down connecting ridges in a line that divides the flow of water in this eastern part of the United States. From where the divide begins in Pennsylvania to where it ends in Georgia, all of the streams and rivers that have their headwaters on the Appalachians' eastern slope flow directly into the Atlantic Ocean. The Connecticut and Hudson rivers in the north, to the Potomac, James, Roanoke, and Savannah rivers in the south, are all short waterways, each less than 500 miles or 800 kilometers long. Some rivers found on the western slope of the Appalachians, such as the 981-mile-long Ohio and the almost 700-mile-long Tennessee, are tributaries to the longest river on the continent, the 2,340-mile-long Mississippi. Of the handful of rivers at the southern end of the mountain range that flow directly into the Gulf of Mexico, the Alabama River at 732 miles, or 1,178 kilometers long, is the most notable.
We've seen clips from 3 of the 2010-2011 video classroom previews. We value your expertise as classroom teachers. We are asking you to evaluate the content we're considering purchasing in perpetuity for our new digital distribution system, Video Classroom. To access all 25 video classroom previews, go to whro.org and click on Education Services. You'll find the link to the preview in our Quick Links section. You can stream the preview of your choice, download the fact sheet, and then fill out the online evaluation form. Your completed evaluation will automatically forward to your school division representative to WHRO. All teachers previewing will receive a special thank you gift. Happy previewing! Now it's time to recognize our schools of the month. Jefferson Elementary has a lot to celebrate as one of the recipients of the 2009 BOE Competence to Excellence Award. This award honors schools that meet all state and federal benchmarks for at least 2 consecutive years and are making progress toward Governor Kane's Competence to Excellence incentive program. For striving to meet these goals and showing dedication to academic success, we congratulate Jefferson as our Elementary School of the Month. Oscar Smith Middle embraces the hero within each student. Members of their Gents Club believe the roar in the hall they hear today will be the thunder in the world tomorrow. The Gentlemen Eagerly Navigating Towards Success Club allows boys to learn character, leadership, and team-building skills. It also provides opportunities for young gents to volunteer in the community and set examples for their peers. For leading young men in the right direction and providing the necessary tools for success, we applaud Oscar Smith as our Middle School of the Month. Grafton High has been honored with the Claudia Dodson Sportsmanship Ethics and Integrity Award. The SEI Award recognizes schools that have established policies and procedures that make sportsmanship a priority and an expectation within the school and its community. The award was named to honor the memory of Claudia Dodson, a Virginia High School League Assistant Director, whose passion to establish and promote standards of behavior expected from coaches, athletes, activities participants, and students was not forgotten. For exemplifying the true meaning of sportsmanship, we honor Grafton as our High School of the Month. Tidewater Academy is a private school with its own student news site. The Tidewater Student Press is a student-organized, written, and edited online news source for Tidewater Academy students and patrons. The press embodies Tidewater's goal to provide a thorough academic education with emphasis on preparation for college, building an understanding of cultural heritage, and respect for learning. For inspiring students and giving them a voice, we salute Tidewater Academy as our Independent School of the Month. We're premiering a new segment this month on School Talk featuring local student-produced video. Duke TV is a full-service, state-of-the-art cable television station. It is researched, designed, recorded, edited, and produced by the juniors and seniors of Gloucester High School. They recently captured the timeless melodies of the Middle Ages and early Renaissance at their fall chorus concert. Here's more. On Saturday, February 20th, 42 of the best middle school spellers in the region will be here in WHRO's studios to compete in the Virginian Pilots 2010 Spelling Bee. We'll be here covering all the excitement live beginning at 2 p.m. February 20th. This program and all the links we talk about are available online at schooltalk.org. Well, that's all for now. See you next time on School Talk.